Alright, all set. And 3, 2, 1, action! This is Cinematic Motif. Hello, you're listening to Cinematic Motif. I'm Wanson. I am a film columnist, also a content creator, and this is a show where I introduce you one Taiwanese film as a motif and explore other works of similar topic in cinema around the world. Alright, so it's December now, and we're approaching the holiday season. And in Taiwan, we have winter vacation, 寒假, from around in schools. From around January, throughout the whole Lunar New Year. So today we're going to talk about films related to vacation. We're going to have some time off, not have some time fun. Okay, have some time off. Okay, so I have 3 films to share with you, including first film as, of course, our motif every week, a Taiwanese movie. But I have to admit with you, this is not actually a Taiwanese movie, but more of a movie produced in the US by a Taiwanese film director. Who is the director? I believe you can guess who he is already. Yes, today we're going to talk about An Li's movie, Li An's movie, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk in 2016. So this is a war drama directed by An Li, Li An, one of the very best in the world. And also this film is based on the 2012 novel of the same name by Ben Fountain. The film stars Joe Alwyn, Kristen Stewart, I love Joe Alwyn, and also Vin Diesel in the movie. So this movie tells the story of a 19-year-old boy, Billy Lynn. He is a US Army specialist who becomes a war hero after rescuing his fellow soldier and basically his lieutenant or captain, like, how do you call it? His someone in the management in the army in the war in Iraq. So, being captured on camera, Billy and his unit known as Bravo Squad are celebrated as heroes and sent on a media tour back in the US. And it culminates in a halftime appearance at the Dallas Cowboys Thanksgiving game. Amid the celebrations, Billy struggles with the trauma of war, flashbacks to the harrowing battle, and the emotional toll of being hailed as a hero for a day he wishes to forget. On his journey, he faces difficult choices about his future, including the option for an honorable discharge. As tensions rise with the Cowboys' management and media, Billy finds himself torn between the pressure to embrace his newfound fame and his loyalty to his squad. So basically, this whole poignant film captures the intersection of heroism, trauma, and even the complex realities of war, while exploring the human cost of being celebrated as a symbol of patriotism like Billy did. So I think this movie is a very, very touching one. So first of all, it talks about what does it mean to be a hero? And what is the burden of being a hero? I believe, this is not I believe, but factually, Billy does not want to be celebrated like this. In his mind, the responsibility of being a hero is too much for him, and he only thinks himself as a soldier that is loyal to his squad and doing what he should do. But he's celebrated like this in a patriotic environment, and the burden is so much for him. And maybe having the fame is not what he is used to, and maybe this is not what he wants. Now, second of all, Billy's decision in this movie, he has this decision not to sell his story for movie adaptation at a very, very low price. I think this is a very, very nice decision done by Billy, because it basically says that Billy, he does not want to be degraded as a sort of product to be not just commercialized for patriotism and also for the benefits of these big movie companies. And at the end of the day, he chooses to go back to the army with his squad. And I think that decision, maybe in some people's mind, this is not the best decision, but I think this is the appropriate decision for Billy. And that moment is very, very, emotional. So this movie is not just about these kind of like deeper topics talking about, army, being a hero, heroism, but also this film is director Ang Lee's technological experiment. So Billy Lynn Long Halftime Walk used an unprecedented shooting and projection frame rate of 120 frames per second in 3D at 4K UHD resolution. It is the first feature film ever to be shot in such a high frame rate. Now let me tell you this, normal films, the frame rate is actually 24. So this is really, really high. And Ang Lee really wants the film to be immersive. And actually, I haven't got the chance to watch the 120 frames version because basically it's impossible to watch it in Taiwan at 3D with this sort of frame rate. But I can tell you this, Ang Lee's experiment in recent years are all related to the sort of high resolution and high frame rates, including his next film, Gemini Man, which came out in 2019, I guess it was 2019. I think so, it's 2019. Ang Lee is doing sort of experimental things in his movie on technology. So if you're interested, dig into that and watch his movies and you will get a sense of what Ang Lee is trying to do to make movies really, really immersive, to make this cinematic experience, cinematic feelings of watching movies. Because you can only watch 3D with 120 frame rate in cinema. You cannot do this at home. You cannot do this on your Netflix or something streaming services, okay?
Listen, 'cause I let my guard down.
Alright, so that is the movie Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. Now I'm playing you One Direction's If I Could Fly. This track really fits in the mood of the movie, and it's gonna be emotional, so enjoy the song and we'll be right back on Cinematic Motif.
You are missing half of me when we're apart. Now you know me for your eyes only, for your eyes only. I've got scars, even though they can't always be seen, and pain gets hard. Now you're here and I don't feel a thing. Pay attention, I hope that you listen, 'cause I let my guard down. Right now I'm completely defenseless. For your eyes only, I'll show you my heart. For when you're lonely, forget who you are. I'm missing half of me when we're apart. Now you know me for your eyes only, for your eyes only. I can feel your heart inside of mine. I've been going out of my mind. I feel it. Know that I'm just wasting time. And I hope that you don't run from me. For your eyes only, I show you my heart. For when you're lonely, forget who you are. I'm missing out for me. But when we're apart, now you know me. For your eyes only, for your eyes only, I'll show you my heart. But when you're lonely, forget who you are. I'm missing know me for your eyes only, for your eyes only.
I got goosebumps every time when I'm listening to this track by One Direction.
Your eyes only.
If I Could Fly on Radio Taiwan International, you're listening to Cinematic Motif. Today we're talking about movies related to vacation. So we just saw US Army soldier Billy Lynn having a little vacation, a time off from his time on the battlefield, but then he decides to go back to the battlefield. That is a vacation, a little bit depressing one by Taiwanese director Ang Lee. But now, let's move on to the second movie. This is a very entertaining one, a very, very funny one. You're gonna laugh out loud while you're watching the movie. This movie is called Triangle of Sadness, or 疯狂副作用 in Mandarin Chinese. So this is a 2022 satirical black comedy directed by Ruben Östlund in his English language feature debut. So this movie stars an ensemble of cast led by Harris Dickinson, and we also have Chow Bi-ding. Now, she was the leading female actress, but this was her final character. She died after this movie shooting. So this movie follows a celebrity couple on a luxury cruise with wealthy guests that end up stranded on an island and fighting for survival. Very, very weird story, but very, very fun, I would say. And the film had its world premiere at the 75th Cannes Film Festival in 2022, and it was awarded the Palme d'Or, 金棕榈奖. Very, very nice movie. So, first of all, let's talk about the fun bits, okay, the funny ones. So in this movie, you get to see a bunch of rich people vomiting on a ship, on a cruise, and then the director films it in a very, very, it's a very funny way, and you can see a lot of shots in a very exaggerated move, and I mean, this is just amazing. You have to go watch this by yourself. It's very difficult for me to describe it, this sort of entertainment to you, okay? So it also showcases how good the direction of Ruben Östlund is. He's really good at directing this sort of movie. And second of all, let's talk about some of the important themes of this movie. Let's get serious, okay? I was trying to laugh. I really want to laugh because I still have all the, vivid moments from these movies in my mind, okay? Let's get serious. So, in this movie, at the very start of the movie, you can see a group of male models doing different expressions for different brands. Now, that's interesting, right? There are high-end brands, also low-end brands. And later on, you see one of the models, played by Harris Dickinson, saying, "I want to be equal to his girlfriend." Equal is the key word in this movie, equality. But are people really equal? No, definitely not. In this movie, no. That is the interesting bit, okay? So, in discussion of equality in this movie, we get to see the discussion about race and also the United States power expansion in the world. And even at the end, starting from the middle of the movie, you get to see a reverse of class and a reverse of gender hierarchy. And then at the final part of the movie, you get to see all these rich people getting back into the primitive status. They lost all their wealth on an island far away from their homeland. And then that bit is really, really interesting. And at the end of the movie, even at the final minute of the movie, there is a final turn. And I should not tell you what the turn is, but basically I can tell you that the reversed, the new pyramid of wealthy pyramid, the poor becoming the rich, not the rich, but the power one, the empowered people. And they may be frightened that the pyramid will reverse and go back again. So they're making their moves. So, wow, this is a very fascinating movie. And I cannot tell you too much because I don't want to be a spoiler, okay? So go watch the movie. This movie is called The Triangle of Sadness, directed by Ruben Östlund. Now, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back talking about other movies related to vacation.
This is Victoria.
From the London Underground to the Taipei Metro, the people of our world are going places. Are you listening? Tune in to the sounds of your world on Radio Taiwan International.
Just got a new plan, gotta get herself away. Well, I better act quick
Yeah, I better change my ways. Oh, maybe I'm wasting, maybe I'm chasing time. Oh, come on, let's face it, I'm only ever lost in mine. Well, I got my tracing paper so that I could trace my clock. And the bastard face kept changing and the hands, they wouldn't stop. Well, I was ripping out the battery, I received myself a shock. And to add insult to injury, I could still hear tick and talk. Casio, Casio, please don't leave. Casio, Casio, please don't leave. Cassie's got a new plan, gotta get herself a break. And I try, for heaven's sake. Well, I traveled to Australia and I traveled there by train. This something might sound strange to you, but on the way I came today. And I wrote to tell my family and I wrote to tell my friends. I arrived home, it was lost again, and this torture never ends. Casio, Casio, please don't leave. Casio, Casio, please.
This is George Ezra and Casio on Radio Taiwan International, which fits into the mood of our previous movie, Triangle of Sadness. And also this film is talking about sort of, relationship between man and woman, in the relationship, in an actual relationship, okay? Very nice track. So today we're talking about movies related to vacation, and we just had a vacation on a very luxury cruise, and now we're moving on to a vacation with a bunch of friends in a little house by the lake, and that's why. That's the next movie, Matthias and Maxime. Alright, so Matthias and Maxime, this is a 2019 Canadian drama film directed by the very, very famous, worldly famous Xavier Dolan, or Xavier Dolan, Xavier Dolan. So basically this film stars Dolan himself with Gabriel D'Almeida Freitas. So in Matthias and Maxime, two lifelong friends in the late 20s, they are at crossroads in their lives. Matthias is a driven businessman with a girlfriend, while Maxime is a bartender caring for his troubled mother. So when the two agree to star in a student film, they're forced to share a kiss for the project. This unexpected moment triggers intense emotions in both men, forcing Matthias to confront his feelings and the future of his relationship with his girlfriend Sarah. Now, it all happened in a very vacation moment by the lake. Now, but meanwhile, Maxime, at this particular moment, he's preparing to leave Montreal for Australia. So both men struggling with their identities and feelings, they navigate tensions, confusion, and personal growth. And basically, this whole film is exploring this sort of complexity of friendship, love, and self-discovery, and even, gay relationship. So Xavier Dolan really beautifully explores love, desire through intimate moments in this movie. My favorite scene is where Matthias and Maxime reminisces about a childhood kiss, which is buried deep in memory and repeatedly denied by Matthias. They talked about this incident in a kitchen, and at this particular moment, the physical distance in the frame it's sort of like it's close but also far away from each other. And then, as I said, for the student film, they kissed each other. And at this particular time, Xavier Dolan didn't let us see what happened during the kiss. Something covered in a frame. I think it's a camera. It covers the kiss itself. We can see both men, but we cannot see the kiss. So, we don't know what is this kiss. Is it intense? Is it awkward? The audience never learns the details of the kiss, but as the screen cuts to black, it's clear that both men are reminded of deep, unspoken memories between themselves. Matthias finally gathers the courage to face his first love, and this whole moment is actually very, very magical. Matthias is finally facing Maxime. At the gathering, Matthias walks through a hallway of flickering lights, which symbolizes his inner turmoil, and then he kisses Maxime again. The director uses the indoor and outdoor setting to emphasize their isolation, and the intimacy of their intertwined fingers speaks to their hidden desires. In my opinion, Xavier Dolan really weaves the struggles each man faces in their own lives in this movie. Maxime must care for his mother, the woman who once struck him with the remote control, leaving him bleeding. And despite everything, Maxime is devoted to his family, longing for his brother to return. And while Matthias faces his stagnant career, and he's also trying to deal with his relationship with his wife. So there are so many things going on. Both men exploring for their self-identity, and both men trying to explore this sort of relationship, this sort of little love desire between each other. I love what the director Xavier Dolan once said. He said that this film is not about being gay, it's about life. It's not a gay love story, but a love story. In my opinion, Matthias Maxime, it doesn't focus on sexuality or discrimination, but rather the shifting distances in this two men's relationship, the sweetness and bitterness of the sort of love, the purity of friendship, the small details of everyday life. Dolan made this whole thing magical, very, very magical, and the simple portrait of life is profoundly heartwarming. And you can get a little vacation moment in this movie actually. Matthias and Maxime. Alright, so we talked about 3 movies today: Matthias and Maxime, Triangle of Sadness, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. I hope you enjoy these movies. Please go watch them all, okay? And as always, if you've got any requests or feedback, send your email to wanson@rti.org.tw. You can also follow me on my Instagram and YouTube accounts. It's at WANSONSCFV. This has been Cinematic Motif. Thank you for tuning in. Final song for you today is from the movie Matthias and Maxime. It's the song that was played during the ending credits actually. This track is called Song for Zula by Phosphorescent. And I'm going to be back next week. Bye bye.
See the cage it called. I said, come on in. I will not open myself up this way again. Now lay my face to the saw, nor my teeth to the sand. I will not lay like this for days now upon him. You will not see me fall, nor see me struggle to stand, to be acknowledged by some touch from his gnarled hands. You see the cage it called. I said, come on in. I will not open myself up this way again. Treetop night, I see the shadows that we cast in the cold, clean light. My feet are gold, and my heart is wide, and we race out on the desert plains all night. See, honey, I am not some broken